So today, we're doing something a little different. We're not just looking at Dale Carnegie's amazing advice, we're actually digging into the system he created to make it all stick. You could call it the playbook behind the playbook. This is how you turn his words into real-world action. Let's dive in.
You know the feeling, right? You finish a fantastic book, you're fired up, you're full of ideas, and then a week later, it's like you never even read it. Life just snaps back to normal. Well, that gap, that space between knowing what to do and actually doing it, that's exactly what we're going to close today.
And this quote from Bernard Shaw, which Carnegie himself loved, just nails it. You can't just pour knowledge into someone's head. Carnegie knew that just passively reading his book wouldn't work. Learning has to be an active process. It's something you have to do.
So let's give this problem a name: the knowing-doing gap. It's the difference between the person you imagine you could be and the person you are right now. Carnegie's entire learning formula is designed to build a bridge right across that gap. So how do we start building? Well, it all starts right here. Before you learn a single technique, before you memorize a single rule, Carnegie says there's one thing that is absolutely essential, and it has nothing to do with how smart you are. It's all about how badly you want it. Here's the first rule, and it's the foundation for everything else. He actually calls it the magic requirement. You have to have a deep, driving desire to learn this stuff. Without that powerful, personal reason to change, all the tips in the world are just, well, they're just words on a page. You've got to feel that hunger for the results. Okay, so how do you get that desire if it's not there yet? Carnegie gives us a practical application. You have to constantly sell yourself on the benefits. Keep reminding yourself why this is so important. Picture what your life could look like. He even suggests saying this to yourself out loud. My popularity, my happiness, and my sense of worth depend on my skill in dealing with people. That's not just wishful thinking, it's about programming your own motivation. All right, so once you have stoked that fire of desire, you need a plan, you need a method. This is where we move from why to how, with some active learning drills. This is so much more than just reading. It's a whole system. First, you skim a chapter just to get the big picture. Then, you go back and do a deep dive, really absorb it. But step 3 is the real game changer. You have to stop all the time and ask yourself, how can I use this? Like right now, today. And finally, and this is crucial, you have to schedule monthly reviews to keep it all fresh in your mind. And why is that last step so important? Because as Carnegie says, the speed at which we forget things is just astonishing. It's so true, right? That's why he says you shouldn't treat his book like a novel you finish and put away. No, it's a handbook. It's a tool that should live on your desk, always in sight. Okay, this next part is where the rubber really meets the road. It's about getting these ideas out of the book and into your muscle memory, turning these principles into your natural reflexes. I mean, how simple and powerful is this rule? Only the knowledge you actually use is going to stick around. You can highlight every page, you can make 1,000 notes, but if you don't apply it, it's just going to vanish. Application is literally the glue that makes learning stick. And the application here is to be on the lookout for opportunities to practice. Every phone call, every meeting, every chat with a family member, that's your training ground. Carnegie is really clear about this. You're not just reading a book, you are trying to form entirely new habits. You're attempting a new way of life, and that takes practice, practice, practice. Now, to keep that motivation high, Carnegie has this wonderful little rule. Turn it into a game. Don't let it become a heavy, serious chore. If you make it fun, if you make it a challenge, you're way more likely to stick with it. And his application for this is just brilliant. He says, hey, put your money where your mouth is. Get your family or coworkers involved. Offer them $1 every time they catch you slipping up on one of the principles. It's such a clever way to build in some accountability and, have a little fun with it. It's a playful way to get some seriously good results. All right, and that brings us to the final and maybe the most powerful part of the system. This is about building your own scorecard to track your progress. It's not enough to just try. You've got to measure. And Carnegie tells a great story to show us exactly how. He talks about this incredibly successful Wall Street financier who, despite having very little formal education, credited his massive success to one simple, homemade system he used for self-improvement. This was his secret weapon. So what was this secret? It was a weekly ritual. Every single Saturday night, he would block out time for self-examination. He'd open his calendar for the week that just passed, and he would think through every single meeting, every discussion, every interaction he'd had. This is what deliberate practice looks like in real life. And the absolute core of his whole system came down to these 3 questions. And look at the balance here. He didn't just beat himself up over mistakes. He asked, what mistakes did I make? Then, what did I do that was right to reinforce the good stuff? And most importantly, what lessons can I learn to carry into the future? That's how you stop making the same mistakes over and over. So Carnegie takes this story and turns it into a direct challenge for us, for you. He says create your own scorecard. He even left blank pages in the back of the book for this very purpose. Write down your triumphs when you apply these principles, and be specific. Use names, dates, what the results were. This logbook, this record, it becomes your own personal source of inspiration to keep pushing forward. So there you have it. That's the whole system. The desire to start, the drills to learn, the daily practice to build habits, and the weekly review to keep getting better. The playbook is right here. The only question left is, which principle are you going to start mastering first?